Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me again today. Now look what's just arrived. I'm not sure why a single brow product has to come in a box that size. Come on, we all need to play our bit for sustainability, but yes, it is the new brow product. So I'm just going to unwrap this and power up my phone for a bit, and then we shall get going on this first impression of the new Charlotte Tilbury Brow Cheat system. Can't wait to try this. Okay, so let's get going with these new products. So this is a very first impression. Haven't tried any of these yet. Got them on early release. So there's a 3-step system. So the idea is, and you know Charlotte is very good at alliteration, fill, feather, and fix. We love it, Charlotte. We love her little sayings. Okay, so the idea is that you fill with either her new brow cheat, which I'm going to show you in a second, or her brow lift, which I've had for a time, and there's a reason it's still in the box, which I'm going to explain in a minute. Then you feather with her legendary brows, and I bought a new one because apparently it's been reformulated, I think. So I got one in a set. So you can get this in a set, by the way, all together. And then you fix with a clear brow gel. All right, now, a few things. I'm really glad, there's 2 reasons. I like the fact that this is actually sharper. This is now a sharper version of brow lift. And I like that because brow lift is very good. I use it every day, but it doesn't really stay that sharp. So I'm going to be interested to see how sharp this is. It's more filling. It's less kind of getting the individual hairs. The other advantage that this new product has, I think, over the old one, just from first impressions, is that it looks a little bit more strong. This I always keep in the box because this is probably about my 4th one now. I definitely use it a lot. Although I really love it, it's just so fragile. The lids often crack. This one has. I don't know if you can see. The lids crack and then they start falling off. So you find the lids in your makeup bag. One or both ends come off and it just cracks. It's just very fragile, which is why I keep it in the box. Now, the only downfall about the new product as opposed to this one is that this has this lovely ingenious highlighter, which I do actually love, that you put under the brow, but it's also really great at getting in here. So I do like that. It's really handy. So I'm not sure that I'll be completely giving up buying brow lift yet. We'll see what the new one's like. Now you can still get this. So you can get this as your fill option if you buy the set, or you can get the new product. Now I think, as I said, I'm pretty certain that I heard Charlotte saying that they have reformulated the legendary brows, which I'm going to try out in a minute. And then we've got the Brow Fix, which is a clear gel and it's got a bigger wand. Now, I don't know if any of you remember, but Charlotte did actually do legendary brows in the clear gel at one point. And I don't think it sold that well. And the reason I'm saying that is because I got one in my magic box, you know, your surprise mystery box. And she tends to put things in there that are not selling very well. So I did use it. It was very good. So it had the same sort of brush as on the Legendary Brows brush, but it was clear. This one, however, this new product has got a bigger brush. It's more like a kind of mascara wand. So really interested to try this 3-step. Now there are new colours, and I actually thought it was a lot easier to work out what shade you were than her old system, which was kind of supermodel for my shade, and then they had all the different names of the celebrities, which she's gradually doing away with. I think she got into trouble naming certain brow shades after certain people, as we know, although it was reported. I can't confirm that. But actually, I chose black brown because my hair is brown, but it's black brown. You can see it's got shades of black in it. It's not kind of red brown, unless I dye it, of course, and then it looks red brown. But mainly I would call it black brown. So that's what I ordered, was black brown. So it was a real no-brainer to me which one to order. And I think the descriptions will make it a lot easier for you. And then with the supermodel brows, I got dark brown. So again, I just think, have a look at your shades when they come out. I think you'll find the descriptions make it a lot easier to decide which shade you are. But if you're not sure, she's offering these online masterclasses where they'll tell you which shade to buy. Okay, so let's get going with this. So this has got two ends, like the brow lift, but not the middle bit with the highlighter. And then it's got this end here. Now, this looks, when you look at the picture online, it looks a lot sharper than the original brow lift. So let's have a look, shall we? I'm going to... Now, the idea is what you should always do, I was just about to do it wrong, is you should always, before you start with your brows, you should always brush them up. That will do two things. It will get them into a nice shape, but it will also take out any excess foundation or whatever that you've got sitting in your brows. Okay, so that is that done. And Charlotte told us all about the tip. If you don't know about it, I'll talk a bit more in depth. You want to see this product, but it's the tip about to the nose for the end of your brow, then through your pupil for where the arch goes, and through the outer corner of your eye for where it should end. This one ends in the right place, but this one is always a little bit short, so I always have to lengthen this one a little bit. Okay, so let's get going with this, and I can't wait to try it. So you twist it up and you can twist it back down again. Yeah, it's a lot finer, the strokes. A lot finer. Let me just show you that. See, a lot finer than the original brow lift. I'll show you in a minute the difference between this and the brow lift. So I'm doing the first step, which is fill. I tell you what, let's do one brow and leave the other one so that you can see the difference. So I like this because here you're really getting thinner, and it's still sharp. The way they've shaped it, it's still sharp. You can't really see on my camera, but trust me, it's the way that it's shaped, it's quite slim, it's still sharp. Now, you've seen that stroke that I've done with that one. Let me just show you what the original brow lift does. So this always gets a bit blunt and a bit... Well, actually, this looks quite... But it just doesn't go on as quick, as easy. You probably could get it quite fine, but it just doesn't give that sharpness to it that this does. So, yeah, I'm definitely preferring this new brow cheat, but you can get the original brow lift if you prefer that. Now, the other side, what I like to do is I always then, after I've done the filling in, I always like to brush again to kind of smudge it through. You might not want to do that if you really want to get the definition of the hairs, but I just think it looks more natural that way. And then we're moving on to the new Supermodel brows. I'm interested to see whether this is actually any different or it feels any different, because again, I use Supermodel brows, not Supermodel brows, sorry, Charlotte's named Legendary brows. I use Legendary brows a lot. Right, the wand looks exactly the same as a old design. I think the tube feels a bit thicker to hold. Not that that's going to make any difference. So I'm now feathering. I'll be honest with you, it's a bit difficult to tell whether it's any different because the brush is exactly the same. It's possibly a bit more pigmented than before, but that might just be because I've got a new one, and the one that I'm using is nearly out. So I don't know, but it's good anyway. So that is the second step, Legendary brows. And then finally we have the brow fix. Now I thought the Legendary brows did both really. It kind of feathered and fixed. So I'll be interested to see what kind of difference this makes. And I probably need to just let this dry down for a minute. Otherwise I'm just putting this on and it's just going to smudge all that I've done. So I'll just let it dry for a second and I'll be right back. Okay, so I think what this does, this brow fix, is it says it makes it waterproof, smudge proof and humidity proof, which probably the Legendary brows on its own doesn't. I have to say, even though I've got watery eyes, I don't tend to get smudging up there anyway. So I'm not sure whether this is absolutely necessary for me. If you find that your brow products smudge, or I suppose it depends on what your brows are like in the first place. If you've got very fine brows and you're doing a lot of filling in, then maybe they do. I don't really notice that happening much, but I'll be interested about the effect. So there is the wand, as you can see, a lot bigger than the Legendary brow wand, more like a mascara wand. And so you just put this in. I tell you what I do like about this is it kind of gives you a bit more like soap brows, and it really sets the brows in place. Look, you can really brush them up like that, which I kind of like. I like that actually. I do like that. Now you could brush them down or you could let them just stay up like that. I'm going to let them stay up like that. I actually quite like that. I like that a lot. So you can see now I've done one brow and not the other. And that's the difference. So that's the brow that I haven't done. And that's the brow that I have done. So I'm going to do the other brow and I'll be right back in a flash. Okay, so that's it. I just had to go in and fill in a little bit more this side because my brows, they say that your brows are not, they're not twins, they're sisters. Mine are like distant cousins. They've always, this shape of this brow always looks very different to the other, and it always looks higher up. It's always been the same. Now what I do love, this brow product at the end, I'm really liking it. It's one of those products that you don't think you need until you use it. It feels like my brows are completely glued into place. That doesn't sound very attractive, does it? But they do. They feel like they are not going to budge. And so it gives you that lift of the brow and it keeps it there. So if you're somebody that really wants to lift up the brow hairs and put them into place and you don't want them to move throughout the day, this stuff is fantastic. It really feels like it's held the shape and it's not actually as I said, I just wouldn't have thought that I needed this until I tried it. And now I love it. I absolutely love it because it's going to hold that shape. And I just didn't think I needed that before at all. But actually, I can see the advantage of it now, that it's holding those lashes, the brow hairs up, not lashes. It's holding the brow hairs up. I've probably said lashes a million times in this video, apologies. But it's holding the brow hairs up in place. So once you've got them in place, as I said, the only problem is that it's doing such a good job of that, that it's showing how different the shape of this brow is to that one on me, which has always been there. But the more you try and make your brows look like twins, the worse it will be. So you just have to accept that they are sisters and not twins. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I am very impressed. I'm not sure. So to summarise, I definitely prefer the new Microcheat Precision Pen. If only for the fact there's two things, but one, that it's just got more precision. And I definitely loved it for filling in this area, because I've got, this area is quite bald in the inner corner there. So I really liked it for that. And I like the fact that it's just generally more resilient packaging. I kind of miss the fact that it doesn't have the highlighter, but I think that's probably what made the packaging fragile. And let's face it, we can live without that, can't we? Maybe she could bring out a brow highlighter pencil. Or you can always use, as I've used before, and I have it here, you can always use, no, it's not that. That's my Natasha Denona. You can always use the shimmer side of the Exaggerise pencil. It's great for highlighting under the brow. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. Do let me know if you've got any questions. And I'm going to leave you with a before and after picture of my brows. Have a lovely day. I'm off now to relax in bed for a bit more because my pain is flaring up today. So I'm just glad I've got my makeup on. And if you want any details of everything else that I've got on my face, then just have a look in the description bar below. Take care. Have a lovely day. Love you all. Mwah.